Yeah. So let's see. That leaves us with about 20 minutes. So before we get into another song, maybe we'll hit some of the current event news and talk about a couple of topics that were on my mind. I'm going to take a little drink here. Hang on a second. Okay. P. Diddy news. So, there's a video that came out with P. Diddy just horrifically treating his girlfriend. And I'm not keeping up that much with the story at this point, to be honest with you. I've had to get away from social media recently. I've been taking some time away from it because honestly, I feel like I don't know, the same things over and over again. And just nothing that I can spend too much time on without it affecting my energy. So I don't really know where the latest news is on that, but I do know that it's reminding me an awful lot of the Epstein situation and the idea that, Diddy doesn't, when you see what he did to that girl in that video and you hear about a lot of the other accusations of Diddy and the way that he always got out of them, and it does make you wonder if he just had powerful friends and that's how he got out of things, or if there's something new supernatural that's going on. And it led to a discussion with a friend regarding this idea that there's nothing new under the sun. So it's this idea that we are still worshiping like gods and goddesses, little g's, right? But they're sort of being deified for us through these celebrities or through these people that we're putting up on pedestals, and that we are worshiping these people. Like, it is truly worship. And in many cases, we're making these people out to be something they're not. And in Diddy's case, like, I think most people, most decent human beings would not be caught worshiping somebody who is abusing his girlfriend the way that he was. I mean, something's pretty seriously wrong. And on top of that, then you kind of find out that maybe he's part of some entrapment. He's doing things to corrupt young people. And it's only when they have been corrupted, and in some cases videoed or filmed or whatever, just the way Epstein did, and so controlled, now they get pushed up into the limelight. Like, what the heck is that? That's so far from what people imagine the music industry to be. And it's even many Christians, it's always surprising to me when there's Christians that are bringing their kids to some of these concerts. And I'm not going to name names of anybody, but so many people like Isaac Weishaupt, so many people have gone through and shown how these are actual rituals. So once again, Ephesians, nothing new under the sun. These are these rituals to ancient gods, or I don't even know what ritual. I mean, it's clear that to the people who are doing them, this means something. I don't actually know what it is, and I don't want to know, and I definitely don't want to be part of it, and I definitely wouldn't want my kids to be part of it, because by showing up and giving you your attention, you are complicit now in it. Many of these rituals take attention. They take human soul, they take emotion. This is on that more etheric realm that, so many people don't understand when they're too caught up in the 3D world or the material world. But our time and our attention and our emotions, that's, currency to a certain level of entity, right? Our fear is currency. Our love is a power that is underestimated. It can be a protection. It can bring miracles. It can be a portal to higher intervention from, Archangel Michael and hierarchies of angels that are here to help us, but we have to ask for their help and we have to build a bridge for them. And how do we build that bridge? Well, music is a powerful portal making technology. Let's say that. And we have so much evidence of this in the Bible. And we also talked about this on the show Nights of the Storm. And that would be a whole nother episode here, I believe, when we can talk about biblical references to using music, not as entertainment, but as actual spiritual warfare, right? And so what my argument is, and many people's argument is, but it doesn't seem to be well understood, even by Christendom, at least in the West. I think in Africa they understand this a lot more, but in the West, they don't understand that it can be a portal to a higher dimension, and that could be more like fourth dimensional service to self, enslaving humanity type of entities, right? The fallen one, and that whole cast of characters that are kind of messing with us a lot, and they love for us to give them permission to come into our lives. And so listening to this lower dimensional music that the artist made with the intention of opening up its listener to these things, well, come on, like, are we really going to be this naive? Versus flipping it to the other side and using music as a protection on your house, that these entities can't come in because they can't get into this love vibe. They can't come into this Christ consciousness. They cower at the name of Jesus. And here you are singing his name. Well, how powerful is that? Okay. And then building portals so that there can be divine intervention and blessing coming to you. And I spoke about this on a podcast, that it was one of the ones that just didn't go through, but it's the idea that when I was not understanding Christianity or the Bible, and I was coming more from New Age, it sounded like, what kind of God would demand worship, right? What kind of God would, want you to sing praise and worship the way they did in Christian churches? Why would he demand your praise? Well, it's an interesting question, because I do think there's little g gods that do demand that worship. But I think the big G God, the one and only, the true unifier of all of our souls, it's not for him, it's for us. Because when we get into a state of gratitude for our creator, that opens up our relationship and a level of intimacy that his presence can now reach us. It cannot reach us if we're surrounded with fear and self-loathing and guilt, which most of us are. And that has, because of the fall, because somehow we chose against him, because of the situation we're in. That's a whole nother episode as well. Why is our frequency so low? I don't know, but we're born into a world where the typical frequency that we're entrained to is a low frequency, and we pick up on guilt, we pick up on fear. These become our modus of operandus, and God cannot approach us. It is our free will to continue to experience those frequencies, and he cannot reach us, he cannot get to us. But when we start to look for the blessings in our lives, find a way to be appreciative, sing about that, well, now we've opened up a bridge to a higher dimension, and we've allowed ourselves the divine protection to come in to elevate us to a place where these beings aren't going to mess with us. They're going to go for the easy targets, right? So that's sort of the idea of, number one, pull back your worship from the little g's and these stars and these, P. Diddy's and these J-Lo's and these people that we have been deifying that do not deserve our worship, and put it in the proper place, not because God needs your worship. He is and will always be. It's your choice to align with him. But when you do, you've got the power of the universe in you now. You have built a bridge to a love that is so powerful that we cannot even begin to comprehend. And this is the love. This is what I'm wanting to do in my music, is to send that vibe into this world. And I probably will never know what it's doing, but this is why it doesn't matter to me if I'm being paid for this or not. It feels like important work to do. And it also feels really scary sometimes, I feel pretty vulnerable when I do that.